Good morning, and welcome to today's webinar, Agency Strategies for Growth. I'm Rob Oates, Chairman of the IIABCal Emerging Leaders Committee. With us today is Ron Berg, the Executive Director of the Agents Council of Technology, also known as ACT. ACT is a part of the National Big I Association and provides a forum to address the critical workflow and technology issues facing the independent agency system. Before joining ACT, Ron worked with MetLife Auto and Home for almost 20 years, advising on technology strategies and advocating for real-time independent agent workflows. Also with us today is Jim Armitage, IIABCal past president and also past president of NetView, the network of Vertifor users. Jim is currently the chairman of the Agents Council of Technology Committee. The mission of ACT is to bring together the stakeholders of the independent agency system to advance the use of the most effective business processes, practices, and technology in order to enhance productivity, service, marketing, sales, and security. For today's webinar, we have muted all the phones to eliminate background noise. However, you can ask questions throughout the webinar in writing through the right-hand navigation area of GoToMeeting. All of your questions will be addressed at the end of the presentation. Ron?
Thank you very much, Rob. And hello, everyone, and thanks for attending. We're thrilled to have the opportunity to talk with you today. We're going to be sharing some background that we feel will help you utilize technology to help grow your agencies. What we're going to do is first run a 10-minute video that features some agency leaders and industry experts who are talking about some of the critical aspects of technology and how to use that in your agencies. Then we'll switch to our PowerPoint presentation, and Jim Armitage and I will be talking about how to best position your agency for growth, some of the successful strategies that you can use, how to take advantage of available technology, and just as important, the critical importance of measuring your data. So at the end, we're going to have a time for Q&A. As I think Rob indicated, please use your GoToMeeting or your GoToWebinar active pane to submit any questions you have as we go along through the dedicated messaging pane in the right-hand navigation area of your GoToWebinar session. Rob and the IIABCal group will be monitoring your questions and will set them up for us to respond to at the end. So first, let's move to the Agency Strategies for Growth video. And Rob, I do have some good news. My share a video link did become active once we started recording. So just quickly before we go to the video, just a little quick visual. Again, I'm joined by Jim Armitage, who is out of the owner of Arroyo Insurance Services out of Arcadia, California, with a number of locations throughout Southern California. Jim, I have the privilege of having Jim serve as our ACT Committee Chair to help us set our strategy for the Agents Council for Technology. I am Ron Berg, as Rob said, the Executive Director of the Agents Council for Technology.
Thank you, Rob.
So you're welcome, Jim. And Jim, once we get into the actual presentation past the video, Jim and I will be going back and forth talking through some of the points that you'll be hearing coming up in just a moment as I kick off the video. So pay attention please to the points that you'll be hearing, and we will be reiterating and expanding on those. You should be able to resize the video that you see on your own screen, and some of you may be having difficulties based on their computer configuration. We'll also share a link to the video.
It's consistent from sales to service. It's in your taglines. It's in how you talk to your customers, how you touch your customers. So it becomes who you are.
We have to be constantly evolving. Since we are your agents of choice, we need to be listening to the clients to understand what choices they want. By being hyper-local in our community, we have to find ways to be more integrated within everything that's going on within the community. I truly believe that the more we look not like an insurance agency, but more as a trusted community partner, we will earn the respect of the prospects in our community, and they will become raving fans as well.
Positioning my agency to the future to allow the consumer to connect with me in the way that they want to connect with me. I think that's very important, and that's something that we lack in the independent insurance agency system today.
So one thing we've done is ask our employees to always be asking the client what's going on in their life, what's changed, what their email address is, if they're tweeting, what carrier they use, so that we're ready to address their needs.
I think the agency of the future is in a great position because a lot of us are very agile. We're able to launch things and test them, and I would encourage any agency to do that. But I think we're also going to need to rely on our carrier partners, the insurance companies. They've got the data, the resources. We've had some luck in our agency with having our insurance companies actually help pay for the cost of our digital marketing efforts.
I think that goes back to the direction and the leadership and taking time to think and setting a purpose, setting a strategy. If an agency principal says this is how we're going to do business, it flows. The number one method of growth in a bad economy, hiring new producers. Number two method of growth is communicating frequently with clients.
It's interesting. I have 3 social media engineers. Their responsibility is to create an image of our agency, who we are, what we are, our identity brand, and bring it out into the internet world and find people with similar identities and brands that we have. So really, it's my marketing team.
I was spending anywhere between $100 to $150 a month advertising on Facebook. Today, I spend $0 advertising on Facebook since September of 2012, and I'm still getting anywhere between 3, 5, 7 referrals or new business clients coming off being online. And when I say online, I'm not talking about Google. I'm talking about Facebook, I'm talking about LinkedIn, I'm talking about Twitter, and I'm talking about Google+. That's where the people are. That's why I go there.
Co-branding has been huge on the blog side and on the video side.
One thing that I've started to do over the last couple of months is I'm now going to my clients, and I'm telling them, how can I help you market your business? How can I tell people about what you're doing? I'm walking into my clients. I just did a produce, a wholesaler, and what I did is we took pictures and did videos, and then we put that together online to make them their own marketing video for absolutely free, just for doing business with JDC Insurance Group. You cannot understand the excitement that client has when they look at me and say, wow, you did this for us?
We do a co-brand blog and a video, and what's happening is he'll also post it on his Facebook page. We'll tag them, and what happens is his people, his friends, are now finding out that they're doing business with us, and they're actually calling us to do business with us.
We started a marketing campaign last year in personal lines, and we wanted to look at first-party benefits on a personal auto policy. Let's look at everyone who doesn't have maximum limits. So we went into the system, we did a search on the personal auto form, we looked at the tort option, limited tort versus full tort, and then what the medical coverages were. We gave the list to the CSRs of the clients who didn't have the maximum medical coverages. They quoted them, they called the clients, consulted with them, and I'd say we had about an 80% close ratio on that marketing program.
We have opened up 2 offices outside of our own state because we can do it cheaply. With the technology that we have, between the phone system being completely IP driven to the computer system and the speed of the internet, we can open up an office for relatively little money, but have a presence in a community that's halfway around the country.
We market nationally. We're, I think, appointed in most of the 50 states, and whether somebody's in Jacksonville, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, everybody responds to the same sort of thing. They want somebody who's trustworthy, competent, knows what they're talking about, is attentive to their needs. And, as long as you can convey that, the fact that you're not doing business face-to-face, you're doing it over the phone, internet, through email, it really doesn't slow us down.
We have a goal to touch our customers at least 8 times a year.
In our world, the leads, the internet leads, come in really at all times of the day and night, holidays, weekends, that sort of thing. So we try to be there and, to catch those opportunities in real time when they come in so that we can respond out to them.
Right now we have a mobile-friendly website because we really have a call to action to that. So that it's critical. 60% are coming from mobile.
measuring those top methods of communication, it's email newsletters, hard copy newsletters, a welcome kit to every new client, the strong referral program, using social media on a regular basis, 2 to 3 times a week is great. Even if you can only do it once, that helps. And then having a website that doesn't have false pictures of people that you don't know. You have models in front of cute homes and with little babies sitting out on the grass. It's the pictures about you and the pictures about the agency and where they're involved in the community. One of the other common things of agents that are high-growth agents is that they track their business tremendously.
The metrics of the average premium per policy and client and the number of policies per client tell us that we're not only growing in terms of just raw numbers of policies in force, but also we're growing the depth of the relationship. And to us, that's probably the most important marker.
We've seen the very best just over 3 policies per client. Great number to strive for, a great goal, but that doesn't happen fast. That moves in tenths of points over months.
If I want to advertise to somebody on Facebook who's 30 years old, drives a minivan and watches Desperate Housewives and is a woman, I can target and direct my ads directly to that person because my companies are telling me that that's the type of client I want, no matter what demographic it is. Being able to access that data and utilize that to grow my agency, I can't think of a better power.
Data is huge, and I don't think that agents understand the marketing house power that they have in their systems if they would only just go in and look.
We actually track a lot of data, and I've become somewhat of a data junkie. I spend most of my day on Google AdWords and analytics, and then watching our quoting pipelines, our engines, and seeing where people come through and what the costs are. And I view all this stuff in real time, and then I can see the sales pipeline and how that's filling up for our producers.
So our marketing firm actually, it's a complete package. We put together what kind of reach we want, what kind of information we want to see back, what kind of hit ratio we are expecting. When we're continually looking at the analytics that come back to us and the zip codes that we want to touch.
When you use technology in your business sufficiently, it's amazing how you have more time to do other things, like market your business, which creates more new business, which creates dialogue, which helps your retention on renewals. All of these things are important.
One of the things that technology has brought to us from, say, a social marketing or from a web presence is this whole sales tracking, this branding. We couldn't do it without technology. Recording calls that come in, being able to, tell where the referrals are, getting emails addresses that then we can ultimately do a campaign to sell additional lines of insurance or to make those touches or those contacts with our customers.
So with the technology, we're a 9-person agency. Technology is the key to us remaining independent, meeting our ever-increasing carrier volume requirements, because those never decrease, right? And using all those tools, we're able to service our clients' needs, either if it's prospecting and writing new business or servicing.
I can concentrate on the client. I can give them answers. I can consult. I can advise them as I would like to advise them as a broker today, because the technology is helping me spend more time face-to-face with the client than ever before. I really think that with technology, we're going to be able to operate, anywhere, with cloud technology and access, and no paper anymore. And I really see that happening, that there's going to be no reason, and there's really not going to be any boundaries.
All right. I know a number of you joined after the video that we just seen had started. I just want to give you a little more background information. My name is Ron Berg. I'm the Executive Director of the Agents Council for Technology. On discussing the video that was just shown, I'll be joined by Jim Armitage, who is not only an agent at Arroyo Insurance Services, out of Arcadia, California, but also the chair of the ACT committee that helps drive ACT strategy. Again, for those of you who either had difficulty due to your own computer configuration seeing the video clearly, or if you joined late and missed some, or if you'd just like to review it at your leisure, IIABCal will be sending out a link to the video that is hosted on the ACT website after this webinar concludes, excuse me. So what we're going to do now is Jim and I are going to talk through some of the aspects of the video that you just saw and dive in a little bit more to some of the high-level strategy and even some of the tactics that you can take away as an agency to help improve your growth by utilization of technology. So one of the first things we're going to get into is positioning your agency. You know, as was discussed by a number of the agents that were on the video, having a clear brand is paramount. It's the number one strategic point that you can use to leverage off all the rest of your technology utilization. And I apologize if my screen wasn't showing. Apparently after showing the video it stops showing my screen, so you should be able to see it now. So determining what your brand is as an agency, how you are using a strategy to address impact and actively access your community and your region is imperative. Creation of the brand, using that brand through all of your technology, whether it's your website, social, and there are a number of resources within the industry that can help you if you do need help on creating a clear brand. I think of things like there is a short but targeted conference called Brand Camp. There are other resources in the industry, and we can help you by sharing what some of those resources are. Another point really with positioning your agency is being what is called hyper-local. And what that really gets to is beyond your beyond historical and traditional marketing schemes of email and mail and newsletters mailed out, but integrating into your community in the greatest extent possible by using social functions and the tools that are out there such as Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, some of the other marketing tools that are out there is very important. Jim, I'll turn it over to you at this point.
Great. The next point is that, you know, we really need to connect with our customers based on what they want. You know, it could be via a mobile application, it could be email, it could be, you know, through a social, LinkedIn, Google+, and quite possibly your website as a means of communicating. We find a lot of our customers go to our website in order to kind of use it almost like a white pages or yellow pages phone book to identify key staff people and, you know, how to get in touch with them. And, you know, there may be a lot of different ways in which we're going to need to connect, you know, with our customer. It's also, I think, a point that was brought up is that, you know, we need to keep in touch with our customer, you know, asking the questions whenever we have an opportunity to, you know, engage them on what they're doing, you know, have there been any changes. And, you know, a huge way of communicating is certainly through email. So, you know, we try to get an email from our prospects that we come in contact with. It's one of the, you know, first or second questions almost like, getting a phone number was in the past. We've got to consistently, engage that customer, make them feel like, we are interested in what they're doing. Also, the whole idea of, kind of being a trusted community partner, a raving fan, earning, respect. And you can do a lot of that, through the social networking. Really the finding out what's changed or what's up in their life, it really allows us to address their needs and to determine what their needs are. We're going to have to, I think, as agents and brokers, constantly try to adopt new avenues. Make sure that our website is kept up to date. We're going to have to make sure that our websites are mobile ready. In other words, people can access the website and get data very easily from a mobile application. We need to develop a social strategy. So much of the geographic lines have just, completely disappeared. Ron?
Great, Jim. Let's talk a little bit now about some of the specific successful strategies that we have. And these, again, refer to some of the things that the industry experts, agency leaders were speaking to that they have successfully implemented and that are basic tenets of their strategy and tactical plans. You heard one of the industry leaders, I believe it was Chuck Blondino, a regional marketing strategist for Safeco, was talking about what a couple of the things that work well during a tough economy for successful growth. One was, yes, you can hire new producers, and targeting those new hires specifically for their expertise with utilization of new technology, whether it be real-time or utilization of social tools that are out there. But another point that Jim had alluded to, and you will hear this as a thread throughout not only that video but our discussion, is communicating frequently with your clients. What differentiates us, the independent agent distribution, from the big direct writers that can throw millions and even billions of advertising at unaware consumers, is that trusted choice guidance. And you know that, but having that as a plan, as a part of your plan, with figuring out what frequently means for your agency strategic plan is a key component. Another one, Jason Cass, a young agent out of Centralia, Illinois, was talking about utilizing free advertising. Advertising he'd been paying for in the past. He didn't say it, but it was like a combination of not only Facebook that he was paying for, and I believe it was Google AdWords, but he'd also been paying for Yellow Pages. He stopped that and utilizes the free advertising component of Facebook, building circles with Google+, utilizing LinkedIn as to push out news from his agency to growing circles there, and even Twitter to pull people back who really only, the younger insureds, who really only use Twitter and very quick communication mechanisms, pulling them back through Facebook and his optimized website. I'll hand it over to you at this point, Jim.
Okay. Chris Bertiso does just an incredible job of linking his local businesses, clients, prospects back to his Google or Facebook pages. So basically, he will just take a real short video off of his iPhone of the hostess at a local restaurant, and post that, and everyone that is a friend or likes or follows Chris and his business will see that individual. So it really has turned out to be something that his customers, he uses it to kind of open doors to prospects. So he uses pictures, videos. There's blogs or that are posted, and he uses Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and Twitter in order to kind of co-brand himself to be getting out into the community and connecting with his clients and prospects. And as he indicated in the video, that's where the people are. They're out in these different social media spots. Also, an opportunity to requote or be proactive with a customer is really a way of showing that you care, that you're providing kind of a value-added service. So and again it's a customer touch, but the bottom line is that it's also an incredibly great cross-sell opportunity. It gives you the opportunity to get in front of that customer and to also be of service to them, and they're going to remember you and really appreciate that. And I think it's important that we do that. So, Ron.
So let's now speak to a little bit about taking advantage of the technology. This was a section in the video, and I know some of the IIABCal people who are monitoring this, Rob, has been sharing with me that there are questions coming in about the availability to access the video and this PowerPoint. Just to put your minds at ease, both will be available to you after this webinar ends. So when it comes to taking advantage of technology, Chris Paradiso, one of the agents that was on the video, talked about what is available now to be able to take advantage of your footprint and expand it at more minimal cost. Voice over IP is one of them. You're probably finding that with the need to meet your customer in the way they want, when they want, you need to expand your hours. One of the ways of doing that is giving more flexibility to your staff. Many agencies are finding that they're able to work even more efficiently with a more virtual staff, where some of the agency reps, whether they be CSRs or even producers, can be working from home and balancing their work-life needs with being able to work more expanded hours using voice over IP functionality, and also cloud-based systems, which meaning your management systems, your comparative ratings systems that are web-based. They're not loaded on your local area network in your system, so that means anywhere in the world that you have an internet connection, you can get to the information you need when you need to use it. And that only not reflects your responsiveness, but it also gives you the flexibility. If a critical matter comes up and you're out on vacation, you can quickly dial in from pretty much anywhere in the world and get the answer. Or, even more so, if there is a natural disaster, and we know what we're seeing as far as the oddness of our current climate, you're able to get to your systems, even if your agency, God forbid, is taken out by loss of electric, flooding, whatever. Those systems are backed up and available instantly on the internet. So that is one way to enable your growth also and give great customer service. And you can also market nationally that way. You can expand your footprint beyond your local footprint, but a key to that we're finding, and a couple of our industry experts indicated that you have to be real. You have to show your commitment to your local community, your region, by having a real website, having real people, your staff on your website, and showing trustworthiness. Jim Armitage actually also made the point of his agency's goals to touch each customer multiple times per year. And I have X in here. You as an agency need to decide what that means for you. What is the most successful number of times that you reach out to your customers per year? But that is a critical point. And also we heard having a mobile-friendly website is a must. Chris Paradiso talked about it being part of his strategy. But how many times have any of you tried to access a website via your pad or your iPhone or Droid smartphone, and whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a auto dealership, when you need service, if that is not optimized for mobile, that customer goes away. So having a mobile-friendly website is a must. And it's not something these days that is difficult to overcome with the right vendor helping you out. Jim?
Yeah, and I think it's important to have a plan. You know, sit down and think about it. You may want to have a welcome kit to new customers. It sets expectations, gives the new customer ways that they can contact you, who to contact, for a certificate or an auto ID card. Many agencies have customer access through the web and you know, have hyperlinks for that. But you know, set some expectations on customer service. Electronic and hard copy newsletters was brought up. I would say we're still in transition to a certain extent because multiple you know, customers have different needs. You know, our customers may want, there may be some that want a hard copy newsletter, yet many may want electronic, so have it, you know, available. A lot of people like to be able to, you know, print something and take it with them, you know, to review later. I think it's very important to have a strong referral program. You certainly need to make it a part of your sales process, and you know, we need to continue to use, you know, social media. Have a plan. Engage a social media associate and blogger, and you know, make your website real. You know, have pictures about you and your agency, and make it very, you know, personable versus just putting clip art out there. You know, consumers are doing what 82% of consumers are doing research when they are looking to buy insurance. So a website can be a real deal breaker or a deal maker. As you know, customers need you, you really got to be able to respond and respond in kind of a real-time environment. So in order to catch these real-time type opportunities, you may want to be looking at live chat. You may want to be looking at 24/7, you know, customer service. There's a lot of different expectations. Now, what kind of data do we really need to measure? What is going on? And we had one of our presenters talk about, you know, high growth agencies and what these agencies do, and they track and measure. It's part of their culture. They look at what their average premium per client is, their average policies per client. I think it was thrown out that 3 policies per client is kind of the magic number. It helps with retention. The more policies you have, the more and higher a retention you have. And you know, you have a lot of that data at your fingertips. So it's part of, you know, your agency management system, and you know, use that data and to cross-sell, to increase the number of policies per client, and you know, try to target different clients, you know, based on certain attributes. Use your head in what you're trying to go after, and really, understanding this data that you have, is tremendous. Go in, look at it, use it, like the presenter said, the high growth agencies are using this. We had several people that talked on it, and I think it's really something that agents and brokers are missing, and they're right there. It's right there at their fingertips. Ron?
Thanks, Jim. And we're going to try and move this along because we do want to leave some time for questions. We are getting more questions that are coming in about how you counting the number of touch points, whether it's across the board, all channels. We'll respond to that at the end. Just to kind of wrap up this, the critical aspect is that we're hearing from a lot of industry experts and a lot of successful agencies, not just those in the video that we keep referring to, but a critical aspect is efficiently using your sales pipeline to understand where your leads are coming from, when the peaks are, what your target market is, and that means using the tools fully that are within the management system that you're paying for, as well as supplementing it with some of the other tools that you may have heard about, Google AdWords, and we've got a few here that are kind of industry standards that you can fairly quickly find more detail around, ask other agents, and start to develop a strategic plan around. That is a critical component. So really defining what your target is and continuing as much as anything, not just reviewing and setting a strategy, but having consistent checkpoints on reviewing those analytics and that data going through. So as we start to wrap up a little bit, we want to talk a little bit how technology enables growth. You may be saying, okay, all of this is fine, some of it makes sense, some of it is obvious, but maybe I haven't focused on it as a part of my plan. You can see the bullets of that lead to efficient use of technology. You're not only saving time, but it's the compound interest value of that, where you're able to reach out to and provide value to your existing customers, but also to market to new customers more, provide better service, increase your customer satisfaction and retention, and as Jim had mentioned, also cross-selling. Some of the real-time tools that are out there, the ability from your management system or from a comparative rater to enter data once and get quotes from multiple carriers, to immediately in the background get inquiry or endorsements without having to log on to separately a carrier portal, has its value. Carrier download saves about 90 minutes per employee per day. That's a daily download that goes from your various carriers to your management system. Real-time quoting and inquiry can save up to an hour per agency staff person per day, which probably sounds like a decent savings, but if you calculate that out for just one agency staff who is currently going to carrier website to carrier website to carrier website to quote and service visit or service business, that rep is saving about 1,600 hours per year if they're saving an hour a day. And you can similarly save other time and agency effort by using other implementations like paperless, electronic signature, using multiple monitors, and ensuring that you're downloading all possible lines of business. Jim?
Great. Recording calls is a great way of improving and tracking your sales process. It leads to better sales training. Use scripts or cheat sheets. Practice. Role play. Identifying the referral sources is a great opportunity to focus on these folks and to sell more. So by tracking that data, and certainly by capturing email addresses, it gives you the opportunity to concentrate on the client and their needs, most definitely. Ron?
Okay. Yep, we'll move it along here. Basically, it's efficient use of technology, as we heard throughout the video, as we've been discussing. It's allowing you to do more with your existing staff to meet those ever-increasing carrier requirements and goals, and provide efficient service to your customers, giving them that valuable consulting and advice. And it's removing any geographical barriers you have as widely as you would want, using mobile functionality or enabling mobile functionality, using web-based management system and vendor functionality, and not only pushing out information, but pulling in your customers using social tools. So, Jim, just want to wrap up with a couple of the key points?
Key points, kind of a wrap-up, things we want you to take away. One is definitely mobile. An agency website really needs to be able to be accessed through mobile applications, and also the emerging mobile apps which provide customers access to data. Certainly from a social standpoint, this gives us the ability to build relationships. The geographic barriers are really going away. So the use of social media and blogging really is a way in which you can build relationships. It allows you to connect like we've never been able to connect. It can provide useful information and can show, definitely a local presence.
And then, the last three that we've been talking about, just reiterating the importance of data analytics, measuring your data, finding out where your opportunities are, getting realizing those time savings and efficiency by using technology, and removing the barriers between you and your customers. So we'll move into a Q&A. One of the questions that we've gotten, Jim, I'll ask for your input on this. Are we counting the number of times we need to touch each customer by mail, email, phone calls, visits, and in the number of times per year? I would think it's all of the above, depending on what your most successful channels are. Jim?
Yeah, it is all of the above. When you look at a customer touch, I would say that the customer touch that is initiated by the agency staff, blogger, social media expert, ways in which you can come in contact. I would say that if the customer is calling and you're taking the opportunity to be, kind of sales driven in the sense of cross-selling or getting a referral, that certainly would be considered, a touch also, because you're trying to help, enhance their insurance protection and to, kind of be a trusted advisor for them.
Agreed. One of the other questions we've gotten as we get towards the end here is asking for a bit more explanation around where I referred to the push and pull of the customer relations. And really what that, at the highest level, what that refers to is, when you're sending emails, when you're sending newsletters, phone calls, that's, pushing information out to the customers. Pulling them in refers to kind of the general use of the various channels to grab them. Enabling your website, having an optimized website that when they search for insurance agents in San Francisco, California, you're coming up and your website is friendly, educational, and it's optimized for mobile. Another example of pull is having a presence on some of the social areas, LinkedIn, Google+, Facebook, Twitter, to the extent that makes sense for you. So your presence there, they see discussion around that, they see people commenting, and that pulls them in. Hopefully that will make sense.
Yeah, you're pushing information out with the idea of pulling them in for a particular result that you want. which is it may be that they feel good about the agency, or they need some additional information, or they need additional coverages, or they need coverage.
So Rob, were there any other questions, or do we have time?
I know there was a question of how many touches. Again, that's really up to the agency, but like I say, you should be talking to them or touching them, I would say at least quarterly at a minimum, and I would say try to at least double that.
All right. It sounds like
the number one complaint, it seems, oftentimes when you lose a customer that you've had for a long time is that, you don't care about me, you don't care, you never contact me, the only time that I hear from you is when I'm late paying, or I'm calling you because I have a claim, which is really with most customers not that often. So this whole idea of trying to have contact and showing that you care and that you have an interest certainly helps you from a retention standpoint.
And really, Jim, to extend off that relationship aspect gets to the core of everything we've been talking about here. Everything we do with our sales plans, with our technology, with how we've set up the industry from an agency standpoint gets to that value proposition of being that trusted advisor. That's why the customer, the consumer today, is looking for guidance. If they did not need the guidance, they could just as easily go to one of the big directs that you all know are out there, the Gecko, the Bandaged Up Guy, that's Mayhem. Our value is giving people advice and keeping that relationship aspect alive, and everything we've been talking about today gets to that relationship aspect.
Cool.
So Rob, if we have no more questions, we will send it back to you. Rob, you may be on mute. If not, maybe it's because I'm still a presenter. So I'll take over from Rob, and thank you all again for joining us today. Those who are on will get an email with information about this PowerPoint and the video and some resources that you can follow up with. And if you have any other further questions, contact information for ACT. Thank you very much for your time today.
Ron, we're also going to have a couple more technology webinars.
Yes.
One called Agency Perspectives on the Future on July 22nd, and then Technology Challenges of California Agents on September 24th. You can register for those webinars or download the recorded version of today's webinar on www.insurancefest.org or click on the Insurance Fest technology link. Also, we're going to be participating in a panel discussion with some experts, agents, insurers, and vendors about your technology challenges. That panel is going to be at this year's InsureFest, which is November 6th to the 8th. It's going to be at the Sheraton Fisherman's Wharf up in San Francisco. And again, there's more information and to register by visiting www.insurancefest.org. Okay?
Excellent, Jim. Thanks for clarifying the additional webinars that are coming up throughout the summer and in the InsureFest conference in San Francisco in November. So with that, we will close out this webinar. We thank you for your time and your attendance, and again, look for an email with the resources from this webinar and contacts if you have any questions. Thank you very much.